what, 7 figures now? I mean, oh no, I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say, wait a minute. Now I was about to say no. She graduated from the nursing program
Yes,
at Gaston
she did.
College. So congratulations to my mom. It was really nice.
And all the graduates there, but
Yep.
Jones Coliseum. Half of our announcing team was there last night. Terry tried to get Jason Sane on board, and he's over. You forget he's math professor over in Gaston College, but I think I got the computer set up where I don't have to run back and forth now. But Cherryville lost last night 3-2. Mount Airy was up 3-0 most of the game. Cherryville scored 2 late, and then Terry, did you hear about what happened? Was you listening?
No, I was not. I did not hear.
With 1 out, bottom of the 7th, Cherryville down 3-2. The lights went out. And the Twitter went crazy and the radio. But anyway, all across you looked across the stadium, the scoreboard lights were on, the press box lights were on, the maintenance building lights were on, the American Legion lights were on, the football lights were on, the firehouse lights were on. What wasn't on was the lights at the traffic light there on the corner, and that's where it run in that side, that little run of the street is where the baseball lights were connected to. So they went out, and they had to get the city up there from what I heard from the radio report, to get up there and get them back on there with 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Luckily, it wasn't during a play. Like, it was between between outs and pitches, and they just got the out, and they're about to play ball, and the lights went out, and the fans sitting there with their cell phone lights trying to light up the bleachers, and that's all they could do for about we probably had a good 20 minute break or so. I'm not exactly sure what Milton said on the break, but it was just you ever been on the field and lights go out umpiring or playing?
I have been on the field in both occasions.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I have done a lot of games where lights have went out at certain places, and I was playing once when the lights went out. But I was in the same
You
situation.
shot the lights out?
No.
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 But,
Terry wasn't Steph Curry in it in there. Is that what it was? So Mount Airy held on to win for the 3-2 victory after they did get the lights back on, and so Milton them had a late broadcast. I think Phillip and them's game was over about 8:30, and Milton's was over at 10. It was close to that because of they went this whole 7 innings, and because North Lincoln will get that won in 5 innings last night. So Mount Airy advances to play Queens Grant, who beat Lincoln Charter 4-3.
Yep.
So before last night's game, Terry, not saying gambling's legal anymore, but if you're a gambling man over here in this area, if you're gambling on the Southern Piedmont 1A Conference playoffs, I'm guessing you had Cherryville and Lincoln Charter maybe last night, maybe facing off here in the next round, and neither one of them made it. And that's what I was saying. We're getting to this, like, there's upsets all over the board. And Queens Grant was a higher seed than Lincoln Charter, but a lot of people thought Lincoln Charter was going to win that game. So Queens Grant will host now Mount Airy in round 3, and they'll play the winner of North Stanley Huari Charter winner. North Stanley beat North Stokes last night. Huari Charter beat Chatham. Over now, finally, in the 2A, East Rutherford got beat last night. The 1 seed,
how about that?
5-2 goes down. So this 2A bracket has gotten crazy all of a sudden. We'll just read down the upsets through here. 8-9 seed. The 8 seed beats the 9 seed 13-5. That's Madison over West Stanley. That sets up Madison at home against Oak Grove, and I don't think Madison planned on having a home game in the 3rd round.
No, and my question for this, y'all, is when we start this thing and it's you play one game and then you play one game, then you play one game, then you go to best 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. My dealing behind that, should you be best 2 out of 3 in every series?
I don't know the actual. When is 2 out of 3? Is that the state championship?
That's in the Western Finals and Eastern Finals.
So in the Western Finals.
Yeah.
Now, the Western it's not at a neutral spot.
You go to the higher seed, then back to the other one, then back to the higher
we
seed.
We get all of that settled. So, and so we're going to talk about that in just a second. So North Lincoln now with East Rutherford, Terry, being knocked out now has home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
If they can hold it, yes.
West Lincoln wins last night over Franklin, the 4 seed, 7-4. Franklin blanked East Lincoln in the first round. Terry, is that a surprising victory there over Franklin? Was Franklin supposed to be rolling through, or what? After they beat East Lincoln 5-0, what was the thought over there at the school?
I mean, they really think they can win. I mean, West Lincoln, got a good squad over there, and last night they had Seth Willis, Chris Moxley, and Chandler Carpenter all had 2 hits, and Dylan Burkey hit a home run, and they got out to a big lead at the start, and Franklin couldn't come back. I mean, they left in time enough for them to get up there. They were rested when the game started. They started the game around 5:30 yesterday evening. But, West Lincoln, hey, I mean, they think they can win this thing.
Well, they've got a home game now, Terry.
Yes, they do. Tuesday.
Coming into this into Tuesday. So not only did Terry, they win with the upset over Ford. If you beat the 4 seed, you still think you're going on the road next game. North Surrey gets upset,
sure
the 12 seed. Who the 28 seed is knocked off the 5 and the 12, Terry. So y'all might be, and so they've got 3 to 4 days of rest. Smoky Mountain's got something, and they've won the last few years. They've put out some Lincoln County teams the last few years. So Smoky Mountain and West Lincoln should be a good game. That's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, sure is.
Let's see. So they'll play. So West Lincoln and Smoky Mountain will play the winner of Madison and Oak Grove. If West Lincoln wins and Madison wins, West Lincoln's going on the road. If West Lincoln wins and Oak Grove wins, West Lincoln gets another home game. Now, the other side of the bracket, we ain't even got to the other side. Last night, West Wilkes defeats High Brighton 3-0. They advanced to play North Davidson, who upset Ford 18-5. Ford was the 6th seed, North Davidson the 11th seed. Over in the next side of the bracket, Maiden Falls late last night 9-6. That was the last score that came in on that I was looking at. West Stokes, the 23 seed, beats the 26 seed Maiden 9-6, who both upset teams in the first round. West Stokes over Chase, the 10, and Maiden over Forbush, the 7. Sets up a 23 seed West Stokes at North Lincoln. So folks are wondering how and when North and West could play each other in the Western Finals.
Wouldn't that be great?
And that would be a best 2 out of 3.
It
would be good. That would be great as far as travel time.
Yes, it would.
You're looking at that. So West needs to win 2. They both need to win 2 games to play each other in the Western Regionals. Now, North Lincoln in the first game, Terry. I'm gonna let Hunter kind of describe this one. He was there. He was there listening to it here at station with myself. They won last night easy 10-0, but they had a lot of problems in the first game, didn't they, Hunter? Let's talk about a little bit. They were down 4-2 headed into the 7th.
Yeah, they were down 4-2 heading into the 7th, and when I started tuning in to try and find out what the score was, when they said that it was 4-2 in the 7th, North Lincoln was losing, but they had the bases loaded with no outs. Bases loaded with no outs. They had the batter at a 0-2 disadvantage against the pitcher, and the pitcher, well, what do you know? He hit the batter. He hit the batter. So we'll make it 4-3. Send him around still. Bases loaded. Next batter comes up, and he hits the ball, goes right up to center though, and they had to force out at second. But runner scores, so now we're tied up at 4 apiece. Runners at the corners, and then they bring up another batter. So bases loaded, tied up 4-4. Or no, bases aren't loaded at this point. It's at the corners. It's tied up 4-4. Another 0-2 on the batter. So the batter's behind, and he hits the batter.
2 0-2 hits, batsman.
2 0-2 hits. And so now that bases are loaded once again, and they bring up a kid that I got to watch a little bit last year when I covered them in the playoffs too with Ken, and they know the name well, especially from football. His last name was Sarus for North Lincoln. He hits a line drive over towards the second baseman, error on the second baseman, game's over. 5-4. North Lincoln is able to squeak by the chin on my hair. They got so lucky.
Yeah,
they did, and that's what I can call it. People can say, "Oh, it's luck." You got lucky. That pitcher hit 2 batters.
What was he throwing? He had to have been throwing inside curveballs. He had to
throwing something.
I can't remember what they said on the broadcast. If Ken and Tim caught that or not.
I understand.
And I don't know how blatant it was. I don't know how blatant.
Terrible pitches. He was throwing.
And I don't know how blatant of a hit it was. If maybe it was just breaking and it didn't break.
The
enough
first
and
one
caught his elbow.
I do remember what they said. One of them just called it the jersey.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think one of them might have been close, but the other one might have been just a beam.
So let's talk a little 3A baseball. A little controversy in the seedings, Terry. Jesse Carson loses a conference game this year. Crest is undefeated, back-to-back state runner-ups, undefeated on the season, and Carson got the 1 seed. So they couldn't drop I guess, can you drop losses in baseball too? I'm not sure. But Carson got the 1 seed over Crest. So Crest fans are kind of upset about that, which means if they played each other, Carson would get the 2 home games in the best of 3. And I'm not sure you could beat Crest at Crest. The way they hit the ball out of that park, it just sails. And I would definitely give Crest a home field advantage at that. I can't remember. I think we've been to Carson in the past few years. But Carson has to get through after winning last night over AC Reynolds 2-1. They've got to get through Southwest Guilford last night, the 8th seed who won 5-3 over TC Roberson. So Southwest Guilford will be at Carson on Tuesday. The winner of that will face a local team maybe, the North Gaston Wildcats. They're runner-up in the Big South, got the 12th seed. They have run through Parkwood 7-3, the 28th seed. They beat the 5 seed Northwest Guilford. And then they'll be hosting the 29 seed in the 3rd round, Terry. The 29 seed, West Henderson, has beat the 4 seed and the 13 seed in Asheville and Northwest somebody. I'm not hitting that button to figure that out. So West Henderson won last night 5-1 over Northwest, and then North Gaston squeaks by 6-5 over North Guilford. So we could have a North Gaston Crest West Regional in the conference, and we could have a West Lincoln North Lincoln Conference Regional, and that would be quite a little tournament there, a redo of the conference tournaments.
Yes, it would.
Over in the other side of the bracket, Alexander Central win 4-1 over Cuthbertson last night. That would be a terrible game to do as a broadcaster, Hunter. What do you think? Alexander Central versus Cuthbertson.
Cuthbertson.
So that's a lot of syllables and a lot of words. Think about doing a basketball game like that. Hey, you'd have to go
AC going down.
Go mascots.
Yeah.
East Rowan falls 19-12 last night, Terry. A 31-run baseball game. Would you have liked been the umpire during that?
No.
Just flat out.
It's slap. No. Exactly.
I would favor probably Alexander Central in that game. I'm guessing they got better pitching than whoever won that game. Cox Mill won 19-12 over East Rowan. Cox Mill will go to Alexander Central, and they'll face the winner of that. That's who will face the winner of Crest and Marvin Ridge. Crest wins 8-0 over West Rowan. Marvin Ridge, the 10 seed, beat Weddington 8-0 as well, setting up Crest hosts Marvin Ridge on Tuesday on WOHS, and then we'll have, of course, on WLON North Lincoln, and let's see, West Stokes. I couldn't remember who they were setting up, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for some baseball playoffs?
Every year.
Got softball going on too?
Softball's going on. Everything's happening. I think North Lincoln got beat by Drone yesterday 1-0 to bring their season to a close. Great year for North Lincoln. But, it comes to a close 1-0 over Drone. But, when I look at this, I mean, don't get me wrong, I am where our area, I mean, when you go to Catawba County, Cleveland, Gaston, Lincoln, I'm for every team that plays in our area, whoever can go to further. So,
all right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got all kinds of things to talk about today. We gave you a little quick preview at the first part of the show, but we'll be right back. Classic Ford today. Calvin and them's over there. It's supposed to be a car show because of the weather. The car show's canceled, but the broadcast is still on, folks. The broadcast's still on. Go get your free hot dogs, check out a Ford, and see Calvin and the gang, Terry.
I want to say one more thing before we go off. We was talking about the 19-12 games that we just had. I did a game, and I'm not going to say where or when, but we played 2 innings. Final score was 30-20.
In baseball?
Softball.
Softball. Yeah, softball.
And we had a time limit, and we went well over a time limit.
A lot of defense in that game, Terry. We'll be back in just a few minutes on KTC.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I've got good news and I've got some bad news that we're going to make good news. First, the Boss will be broadcasting live this Saturday, May the 11th, from 10 till 3 at Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby. We'll be there with free Dairy Queen hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Plus, come by and register to win some great prizes. Now the bad news. Because of the predicted inclement weather, the Classic Belt Car Show has been canceled. But now the good news. It's been rescheduled for Saturday, June 1st. Yes, the belt will be up for grabs. And now, through June 1st, Come in and find out how you could win a Mark & Forsey limited edition custom wrapped laminated Mustang hood with Afterglow artwork. Valued at $3,600. So come on and see us Saturday, May the 11th, 10 till 3, and enjoy a free Dairy Queen hot dog at Classic Ford Lincoln, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right on the Classic corner. For more information, call Classic Ford Lincoln, 704-482-6791. It's the annual Down Home Festival this Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th in downtown Bessemer City. 2 big days of family fun, including rides, vendors, food, fireworks, and more. It'll be Friday from 6 to 10, Saturday 12 noon till 10 p.m. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper for a schedule of events. Brought to you by Dixon Pools of Bessemer City, Wise Insurance of Bessemer City, Otis Merchandise of Bessemer City, author J.D. Kaiser of Krause, and Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill in Bessemer City. So plan now to be there Friday and Saturday, March 10th and 11th for the 31st annual Down Home Days in downtown Bessemer City. For more information, go to bessemercity.com. Dwight Fowler at Renato Automall in Shelby has done it again. This month, he has marked down a 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 truck by $10,000. That's right. Save $10,000 on this brand new GMC Sierra 1500 truck with crew cab, 4-wheel drive, and the SLT premium package. Hey, that's not all. Save over $7,000 on the 2019 GMC Yukon, and save over $6,000 on the 2019 GMC Canyon. See Dwight today and save. Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
For 9 straight years, Ewing Insurance Agency in Gastonia has been voted the #1 insurance agency in the county. There's got to be a reason why. Ewing Insurance Agency features over 75 years of combined experience. Whether you're looking for a review of your auto or homeowner's insurance or seeking a customized business insurance package, the team at Ewing Insurance Agency is ready to tailor a plan that's right for you. Drop by their office at 1548 Union Road, Suite C in Gastonia. Visit their website at insuregaston.com. That's Ewing Insurance Agency. Just in time for spring and summer, the new rent-to-own cabana is now in stock at Sheila's Sheds in Cherryville, Lincolnton, and Shelby. It's time to party with your own cabana from Sheila's Sheds. And also just arrived new animal shelters. Come see one for your special furry animal. Visit your nearest location. Sheila's Sheds, Highway 150 east of Cherryville, Highway 74 bypass east in Shelby, and now at 534 Riverside Drive in Lincolnton. Call 704-300-4254 for Sheila's Sheds of Cherryville, Shelby, and Lincolnton.
Welcome back to Saturday Sports Talk, Mitchem's Kitchen Breakfast. If you're watching on YouTube today, you're watching me enjoy my Mitchem's Kitchen Breakfast. Hunter had a wild night out last night. He's waiting on his wild night at the celebrating his mother's nursing graduation. Terry, he got a little crazy last night, and he can't get to his biscuit yet. But what do you eat? What are you eating over? I'm eating a chicken egg and cheese biscuit.
I had some oatmeal, 2 scrambled eggs, and some bologna.
Well, I have steak, egg, and cheese that I have bit into. I will slowly get into it, but
You kind of
I
disappoint
cannot
me.
eat right now.
You kind of disappoint me, Hunter.
I'm sorry, Terry.
I mean, really. When you first used to come here, it was gone. And here lately, I think you're prolonging. You know, you're like, I'm gonna make this last this whole. I mean, our sports talk show.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
I'm trying not to,
Just
devour
gulp
it
it down.
so fast,
Yeah.
It's actually bad for you to eat that fast.
Well, it is, and you're
It
doing
is.
well here
I'm
lately.
trying, but today is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I'm not gonna say where we ate last night, But I'm not gonna lie. About 3 o'clock this morning, I did get sick off whatever we ate last night.
So you're blaming it on the food, not the partying, right?
Oh, because I didn't party. We literally just went out to eat. It was me and my father and my mother, and we just ate. And
What did you eat? You don't have to spill the name
I
of the
had a
restaurant. What kind of
burger.
food did you eat?
I had a hamburger, but it had like barbecue on top of it as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm gonna just say I tasted every bit of the barbecue the second time as well. Oh man, it was bad. Everybody that's listening, I just painted the most vivid picture in your
Yes, I
mind, and I'm very sorry, but that's just how it is this morning.
Terry was looking at the softball scores. There are none.
There are none. That's there you go.
It's the best way I could put it. The only local team in one of our conferences that looks like that's still playing right now is East Rutherford softball. They got a 20 something seed, I think, and they're playing the 2. So maybe a little tough luck with that. The High School Athletic Association, I tried to find the actual thing. They had rules and their votes and everything this week. Remember we talked a few weeks ago about Haywood County suing the Athletic Association over pretty much what is the legality of them and the basis that they hold power over the schools and what can they do and what are they allowed to do, because they are a private organization. It's supposed to be a non-profit private organization. Like we went through their background and stuff before, and obviously Haywood County's done their research because they've got a lawsuit about it. But they've went through and added some new rules, and we've changed some things. Terry, they're basically splitting the 4A into and making a 5A is what they're doing.
And I have no trouble with that.
And we've talked about that for a while. We thought they probably could, because the bottom of the 4A's got 2,000 kids, and the tops have 3 and 4, way more. So the gap from 1 to 2 and 3 to 4A is 10 kids, and the gaps in these are thousands of kids,
Yes.
and it's a little bit different for that. So we thought that was not that bad of a move, but they still haven't addressed the 1A problems in the fact that what are they going to do? And we've thought, I think by the math they should go 6A and then have the charters, because the charters have enough to have their own school and they have their different rules and everything already. But also the 1As, it's not fair with the charters and how they can bring kids in. So we've been saying, they need to have the 1As be in their own public school conference. Now, with that said, once you start splitting that means some of the 2A schools, because the numbers already in 1A are low, that some of the 2A schools are going to back up into the 1A action.
Yep. That's
Looking at some of the number, folks, Lincolnton's in that category. I think West may have been close to that category. Drone. A lot of some of these teams, I drew them up, and we'll pull them up closer to high school football season when we talk more about this. But I think they need bigger conferences so you can have 10, 11 games. You play that conference, you know exactly who's in what conference. It's better for the sport. So you got 6, 7 teams. You might have a good football conference or a good baseball conference. Maybe with 10 teams, a pretty good conference, 4 or 5 teams top to bottom. And I think it also helps with the scheduling. A couple other things they could do like that. But they did make some changes, folks. You can go to their website and check on that. And like I said, the softball, we don't have any local teams that have advanced this far. All right, Terry, let's move on over into the world of baseball here. Let me get out of this. Last week when we came here, Terry was high on the Celtics and I was high on the Cardinals. And this past week, they've both not done so well since then, have they, Terry? So
let's talk baseball.
Well, he don't want. We're gonna save the NBA for the next segment. We got a big segment. We got a break coming up real quick. So let's get through the baseball standings real quick. In the East, the Rays and Yankees are above 500. Look at the Red Sox. They've made a little 8-2 10-game stretch. They're back close near 500.
Well, we knew this was going to happen. I mean,
No, we didn't. I buried them and said they were done.
Well, I mean,
they're
yeah.
still in third place.
You did.
They're still in third place.
You did bury him.
I mean, I would hate to go back to think how many games they were below 500.
They
and
better
they've really
not Paul
changed.
Pierce me on this one.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, don't do that.
Ooh, that didn't age well.
Terry, as soon as I got a little busy yesterday, I was trying to pull up. I'm gonna have your comments on the Celtics here from after game 1-2 here later, if you're ready for that. Twins in the Central doubled up their record so far, 24-12, mowing through everybody but the Indians right now. Indians 5-5 in the last 10, 20-17 overall. Out west, we've got two teams over 500. The Houston Astros 24-15, and the Seattle Mariners. I mean, no, one team above 500 in the West. I was thinking National League, and actually, the only team above 500 in the West is a National League team, the Houston Astros. Terry,
I wanted to mention one thing. When you go back and you look at the run differential, look at Kansas City. We're -8.
and dead
The
last.
three teams in front of us have a worse differential than we
By a
do.
lot. Look at
And
Detroit.
Cleveland is 20-17. We are 14-25. That just right there just shows you we cannot score. You know, that's what's
Hey,
killing us.
Terry, you've only scored. You actually can score. You're giving
Well.
up. You're giving. I'm looking at the thing. No, I'm looking at the thing. You're giving up too many runs. Look, you've only given up 7 less. You've only scored 7 less runs than the Twins. You've given up 62 more runs than the Twins. That's the difference. You're,
But, you
you're
know,
scoring.
last
You're
night-
actually almost leading the division in scoring because you've got 15 more runs than the White Sox, 64 more runs than the Tigers. You've outscored the Indians, who are 7 games ahead of you, by 63 runs.
Yeah, think of that.
You've scored 63 more runs than Indians. You're pitching and it needs to get on it, Terry. Your hitting's fine
Yeah.
right now.
But last night we did beat the $440 million man.
Who's
We
that?
did beat the Phillies.
The Phillies. But speaking of $400 million, Trout and the Angels are 18-20. I'm gonna point that out as much as I can. That the greatest baseball player ever, who is
on
has
a
a
mediocre
losing
baseball
season
team.
every single year.
Well,
Mediocre baseball team.
I want to say something else. Did you see the little article that come out about Albert Pujols?
Which one?
The
The
2000
one that he's
RBI.
talking about. Well, no, it wasn't the 2000 RBI. It was the one that's saying that he is nowhere near the player that he should be now, and he shouldn't be playing, which he's not playing much now with the Angels. Sometimes he's just coming in for DHing and stuff now because they're not, there's like he's about done. But it was one of them articles that, and when I read that, because I know how you're high on Pujols and everything, but they was really, and I'm like, every player at the end of their career, if they're not top elite, then they do fall off a lot. You know what I'm saying? And they was just putting him down, and I did not like that. I'm like, this guy's done so much for Major League
They were
Baseball.
putting down Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
They have no reason.
That's what
to
I'm
put down
saying.
Albert
But they were
Pujols.
talking
Albert
about
Pujols is
what
a
he
Hall of
meant to
Famer.
the Angels now. Like the Angels need to go ahead and get rid of him. They like had 2 more years on his contract.
I think, well, at the
to get
Angels,
through,
well, if
but-
Pujols is really considering hanging it up, if I was him, I would probably approach Angels management and say, hey, maybe release me a little bit early on this contract or trade me back to St. Louis and let me retire a Cardinal.
I believe I'll take the $70 million, and they can figure out where to put me. As far as he's concerned, Terry, he's played 34 of the 38 games. Now, he's not hitting that well batting average wise, but he does have
6 home runs.
He's got more RBIs than Trout.
Yeah, he's got.
I mean, what? So what are we talking about here? You know, we do this all the time with.
Oh yeah,
with
I
these
mean, all it
players.
does is take some news writer to say, "Hey, I'm gonna bash him for a while." You know.
It is weird how we let people who can't play or didn't play say these things. Pujols, let's look at the all-time RBI. They don't count Ruth before, and him and Cap Anderson before. So they're only saying that 3 people have 2,000 RBIs. It's Hank Aaron, A-Rod, and Pujols. Pujols is obviously going to catch A-Rod maybe even this year, depending on how if Mike Trout can walk enough and get on base so he can knock him in. He needs 86 for that and get close to that. Hank Aaron probably 3 years away, finish out his contract and get close. He can be the all-time RBI king. And when people, and I've got the stats, and we can go through that all day if we want to, but when you sit there and talk about this, Mike Trout is this, Mike Trout is that, go look at Pujols' first 10 years. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close.
In fact, I was looking at Yadier Molina's stats. this year, Terry. Yadier, let's see, where'd I send that? I know I sent that to y'all, some of that to y'all. This season, Yadier has more. He's leading Major League catchers in RBIs. Was it runs and hits? I think, and in fact, he actually has more. No, RBIs, hits, and doubles. All catchers was the stat that they put out there on the tweeter. But the thing about that is, Terry, that's more than Mike Trout has and everything. Yadier Molina's 34-year-old, whatever. You know, in Molina's 15 seasons, they've only had one losing season. Trout's had a losing season every year but one. So which is more valuable? The catcher who plays every day with 9 gold gloves, that's 280 his career. He's got 2 World Series rings and only one losing season in his career with a center fielder, an outfielder. And we talk about that. Outfield. I think anybody can play outfield. Babe Ruth got stuck in right field, didn't he? When he couldn't play first base. Now everybody gets stuck in right field. You just be careful on these WAR stats. I'll tell you how bad the WAR is. You know, when I just said those stats, Yadier and Trout, I didn't mention WAR. You know what the WAR is? Trout's got like twice as much WAR right now in 7 years than Yadier has in his whole career, Terry. In Mike Trout's 7 years, has he been a twice as better baseball player than Yadier Molina in his 15?
I would say no. I mean, that's just me. I mean, don't
That's
get me
how
wrong. That's
crazy
just
that
like
stat
Kansas
is.
City without Perez. I mean, I knew we were dead from the start of the year when he went down.
Yeah.
You've got to have your catcher.
I'm telling you. At the end of the day, the first stats that ever were introduced into baseball are going to be the ones that define baseball players for me for the rest of the time. Batting average, RBIs, home runs, and if you're a pitcher, ERA.
It's not that hard,
It's an eye test.
What's
It's
funny-
an eye test.
what's
So
this-
what if the guy behind you's a scrub and you have so many wins?
They try to add. Yeah, but what wins is he getting?
I
That's
know
what I'm
they're
saying.
not
Yeah.
winning.
If they're not, well, so it's if that stat is supposed to lead to wins and show wins. I just said Yadier's never had. He's had one losing season.
How about
in
we
the
look at
14 years
okay, and then
Trout's
let's
had
take
one
into
every year.
okay if wins are supposed to be everything. How many postseason appearances does Mike Trout have?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't even think he's got
See,
one.
I think they made a 1 year.
Made it that 1 year they had a winning season. Other than that, he's been in the league what 7 years?
May not even may
I
not
was
have
saying,
even
I
made
don't
it
think he
even on
made
the
it.
win.
Well, my
year.
whole
They may not
deal
even have
behind
Bryce
stuff like
Harper's
that.
got more appearances than he does.
Well, my whole dealing behind him, and don't get me wrong, I know he might be committed to the Angels, but if I was that type of player, I would be wanting to leave.
I would. I'd
That's
pull
it.
a Kevin Durant in a heartbeat.
I'd be like, why
I'd be
can't
like,
I not
listen
go
here.
somewhere and help somebody and win me a World Series?
If I'm that talented, I want to win. I want a ring. I could care less about being the highest paid player in the league. Well, ask Tom Brady. Tom Brady is not even close to being the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's not even the highest paid player on his team. And guess what? He does it because he wants rings. So if Mike Trout didn't want to take this huge contract that the Angels threw at him, someone else might have even given him that contract if he would have looked elsewhere. But maybe go to an organization that has a possibility to win.
I also want to remind everyone that through Trout's these first 7 years, who's been batting directly behind him for 7 years? The best right-handed hitter of all
Pujols.
time.
That's
The
Pujols.
best right-handed. Here's Pujols' RBI numbers behind 105 to 64. He got hurt second year. 105, 95. Of his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first 6 years with the Angels, he had 95 RBIs or more. Somebody's got to knock you in. So that means Trout's getting on. He's knocking you in. What are they doing in Anaheim? I mean, the Bonds went through the same thing like this, and I think that's part of my point, Terry. Is if you have the worst center fielder in Major League Baseball, can you still win a World Series title?
Yes.
If you have the worst catcher in baseball, do you think you win a World Series
No.
title?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I'm
I've
just
been on
gonna be
baseball
honest.
teams where we didn't
Yeah.
have a catcher. We were getting beat only because we didn't have a catcher. Because every walk turned into a double. You know, if there's no threat of someone throwing by anyone out, and that catcher can't hit above 200, you got to lose a spot in the lineup.
And your lead on first just gets wider. I mean, it's not shortened up with a
Leads
good
on
pitch.
second.
That's what I'm
everywhere
saying.
else,
Yeah.
you're getting closer
That's
to
it.
where you're going. And
That's it.
I've been on baseball teams
Every
with bad
ball in the
catchers.
dirt's a pass ball.
Yeah.
So if they're on third, you might as well go ahead and say, "Hey, send him every time. Send him."
I mean, I mean, it's
Yeah.
completely having a bad catcher is a.
No, I mean it's great if
complete
you have a
hindrance.
good outfield. It's great if you have a good outfield.
No,
but
I've seen a
but-
center fielder lose a baseball game, misplaying some
So I
balls,
don't
maybe, but
want
once-
to I don't
I
want to
mean,
take away from those that do
but
play outfield.
think about
but
that. Think about that as well. How many balls does the center fielder get a game? 2 to 5.
Yeah, possibly.
How many pitches does Yadier Molina catch?
I don't know. Maybe
150.
'Cause this is the thing. Start like if I was to ask
150
if I
times
was
a
to ask you two today, who you would start a baseball team with that's in the league right now, who would you start it with?
You mean at the age they're at right now?
Or them coming straight? Well, yeah, at the age they're at now, because you know what they've turned into. When these kids first got up into the league, some of them, there was the big question mark. You didn't.
I would take whoever the best. I don't know whoever the best catcher or shortstop.
I'll tell you what. I'm
Catcher or
taking
shortstop?
Altuve. I'm taking Jose Altuve right now.
That's who I'm not taking.
No, I'm taking Altuve.
What is he, second base?
God, nah, what is it? I thought it was
Does he
shortstop.
play short?
He's played about every position for
I
Houston.
was about to say he's
Yeah.
one of the best infielders, and if
Yeah.
not one of the best contact hitters in baseball.
He is.
I wouldn't mind him taking him in the second round, but
But I don't know whether that would be my first pick. But
That's what I'm saying.
I kind of understand if that's who you would take.
Just think about it. We're sitting here and we're putting
would
so
be an
much. We're putting so
outfielder.
much value
I
on the
wouldn't care about
infield,
the outfield.
and it
I
also
would.
happens that he can be a leadoff for you. The man's going to get on base.
I mean, yeah, I'm the outfield things. I'm not putting all my weight on that. I mean, King Griffey Jr. is probably the best overall baseball player I've ever seen, and he didn't win anything. Couldn't win anything. That's
I guess I'm different. If I had to pick one guy, and I know we always talk about which one, and I know a lot of people says, "Oh Lordy, why?" But I'd take Barry Bonds. That would be the first
I
guy.
was talking current players.
Yeah, well, I know that,
People-
but I'm
just
saying
because
if
I was trying
if I had
to prove a
take
point. It's like
one.
I'm not taking Harper. I'm not taking
No, I'm
Machado.
not taking Harper.
And I'm not taking Mike Trout.
Terry. If you
I would take Harper, and here's my deal with Harper. I would have taken Harper if it was in his first 3 years, because
Okay.
I think that guy played. And if you was in the outfield,
Mm-hmm.
don't lay down, because he's rounding first. He's going to second if you don't
Yeah.
come up with it. Because I
he
saw
was a
Hayward.
ballsy runner. He
Yeah.
was a ballsy runner.
When
if
he
if
played
there was
for
a chance
Atlanta-
he could make it a double, it was taken.
Yeah, because when he was playing for Atlanta, and there's a routine grounder hit into the outfield. Hayward's coming in forward, Harper's rounding first, and then just digging for second, and Hayward could not throw him out. It was like, where are you going? You know?
Only one team in the NL East is over 500, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies. Everyone else is also, with the losing record, Terry, the run differential is negative. Braves at -3, they're 19 and 20.
But their run differential is perfect. It's all in a line. Each team below has more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Over in the Central is the complete opposite. Every team, 4 of the 5 teams are above 500, and 4 of the 5 teams have run differentials. But listen to this, folks. The Pirates have a winning record and have a -40 run
Sure do.
differential. The -40, Terry, y'all are -8 in one of the worst records of baseball. The Reds, right behind them, have a losing record, and they're plus 70 in run differential compared to the Pirates. They're plus 30. Pirates are minus 40, and the Reds are 3 games behind the Pirates. What kind of baseball stat is that? Cardinals had the best record in baseball. They were 20 and 10. They went 2 and 7 since. They were 20 and 10, 3 and 7 in the last 10. 20 and 10 on a roll. Now they can fix that real quick, Terry. Sorry, Hunter. They can fix that fix that real quick this
Trying
week.
to kick me here?
Yeah. I was trying to let you know how the Cardinals are going to fix their losing streak this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm listening now. Definitely, absolutely. Tell me how they're going to do this.
They're traveling to SunTrust Park in Atlanta.
Huh. Well, there you go. All
Where
you
you
got to do
going
is
to go
play
to
the
try and
Braves.
catch a game?
I'm busy.
It's 3.5 hour drive.
I'm busy.
There and back.
Um,
Nah, not there and back. It's
Nice.
3.5 there, 3.5 back. Trust me, I made the drive.
It's 3 from my house, probably.
Because, well, let me see. When me and Carson went for the Super Bowl, that was a long day. Because legit, it was like split right down the middle. 7 hours total in the car there and then back. 3.5, and then we were there for 7 hours. Huh. That was 14 hours.
14
But
hours
you
of car.
enjoyed yourself.
14 hours.
See that?
I did enjoy myself.
Hey.
I did. But when we got back at like 3:30 in the morning, I was like, wow. I would never just make a day trip out of Atlanta again.
Every time I've ever been to Atlanta, I've had a bad time, and that
Really?
I can leave it at that.
Really?
And don't ever go by your GPS because they'll take you down streets that you cannot go down.
You're right. You're right. This is a one way, and everybody's honking
That's
at you,
right.
and you're like, you're just frozen like a
Cubs
deer in a
And you're like,
headlight.
now where'd
Cubs
I
and Brewers
go?
are tied for first. Cardinals 1.5. Pirates 3.5. And the Reds with a losing record, they're 6.5 games back.
And they are playing better, y'all. If you're watching it, which they went 5-5, but they are playing better ball because
The Reds have given up the least runs in the division,
Yeah.
Terry,
that's what I'm saying.
by 19.
And they're plus 30.
They've give up.
They are plus 30.
They've give up the least runs in the division. They're plus 30 in run differential, and they're dead last by 6.5 games in that division. That's just nuts. If you can spell Cincinnati, you can explain to me how that's happening.
Yeah.
Over in the West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 634 win percentage. They're up 3 games on the Diamondbacks. I've not been able to stand the Diamondbacks ever since they changed their colors to whatever they want to call it.
Like,
How do you
blood
win a World
red.
Series? And the Rams did this too. How do you win a World Series in the New Jersey and then change the colors?
I did used to like the Diamondbacks colors with Randy Johnson.
Yes.
I got those class.
Yes, they had great jerseys.
Is it great? I'm gonna mention that as we're sitting here. You know,
Now,
when you think of the
there were
Diamondbacks
15
when they
teams of
won,
red in them, and they changed to red.
yeah, when they won the World Series, is it good for teams to do that? The Miami Marlins has done it quite
Switch
often.
up after.
Well, switch and have all elite players and go win a title, and then the next year get rid of every one of them
I don't have
and
a
fall
prob-
back to the bottom.
Honestly, don't have a problem with it
I
anymore.
mean, if you want to win,
because there's 30 teams. Like, so you're just supposed to wait 29 years to win your next championship.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it
know
don't
what I mean?
cycle through. Eventually, like you're just gonna have to go for it. You're gonna have to
Lakers
just be
fans are
all in.
protesting in the streets right now, Terry, and they
And
have
that's
how
the
many
biggest joke.
championships?
Yeah,
and that's
that's
the
right.
biggest
16.
joke I've ever
They got
seen.
16
You can
titles.
just tell how like, well, okay, they're huge. They must be diehard fans, but I was listening to some of them because, of course, the news media out there in LA is covering it, and it made some headlines probably on ESPN. Well, I saw on Twitter this kid was like, my grandfather had Magic. My dad had Kobe,
Yeah.
and I have LeBron, and he hasn't brought me anything.
My
and
God,
I
you only
literally
gave him
quoted-
1 year.
That's what I said. I quoted the tweet. I said he's been there for a year. They said I need a change. I was like, so you want to ship LeBron? Okay, go ahead and tell me you want to ship LeBron James out of Los
The
Angeles
base-
after you guys were coaxing him
Fan,
hard.
Fan is the base word of fanatic.
I know, and that just
These people
reminded
are-
me
some
that
people are
like
just
just because they're
insane.
fans, they don't quite look that deep into this. I understand you're bad with the front office, but don't sit there and say I had Magic. There he had Magic. My dad had Kobe, and I've got LeBron, and he hasn't done anything. I'm like, first of all, he had a year.
1 year.
Second of all, he didn't play for like 20 of them games. So ship him out. Go ahead. You do that.
It's
you,
time.
You do that.
It's time to talk NBA talk in just a minute. JP made it today.
He's here.
It's
JP.
Terry, these kids under 30.
JP.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
What
to
was
get 'em
wrong?
to do
Was
anything.
your clock set wrong today?
No, I turned the alarm off.
And you
Last
went
night
back
I
to
turned it
sleep.
on. So
I understand.
priorities?
I usually don't do that at my house, but I do understand.
Wonder how many times he shows up late to his other job, Terry.
Oh no.
Wonder how many times he shows up late to
I don't know.
to pack groceries.
Anybody
it hasn't happened in a while. I know that. So
anybody that is a Star Wars person, it's no telling what might happen in their lifetime.
Oh God.
You know.
Terry just threw probably a 500 million people in under the bus on that one. So we're gonna take a break, JP. Let's take our double. Let's double up on this.
Terry.
No, we'll just take one. We'll come back NBA. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll take a couple chop breaks and do the spread the NBA out. All right. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KD's broadcast.
A Saturday night under the lights.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
Chase Elliott will take the field back to turn number 1.
NASCAR's biggest stars blaze into Kansas City
Flying wide around the outside.
for a Saturday night showdown.
Dives low, slings wide. Harvick is there.
Who will outrun the pack?
High, wide, and Hansen into 3. Letting her rip.
The Digital Ally 400.
I know that guy's jacked up.
Saturday night at 6:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Digital Ally 400, Saturday evening at 6:30 on Carolina Country, WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
In 2019, our Atlanta Braves are looking to defend their National League East title, and we'll bring you every play from this epic season.
And a drive to right field. That ball is tagged. That ball is gone into the chop house. Ozzie Albies strikes back.
Atlanta Braves baseball back again on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville, Gastonia.
Don't miss the Golf Shop radio show broadcast every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Check out the new rates at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's #1 golf course. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $28. After 1 p.m., just $25. Seniors 55 and older play and ride for $25 Monday through Friday, and Monday is Ladies' Day. Play and ride for only $18. And on weekends and holidays, play and ride for only $38. After 11 a.m. for $33. Crowders Mountain Golf Course. For your tee time, call 704-734-0383.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
Is it time for a new roof for your home or business? If so, call Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Creason Roofing in Cherryville will meet or beat any competitor's pricing on a new roof. That's one of the reasons why they have been serving our area for over 40 years. Steve Creason, along with his wife, son, and daughter, all work together as a family and a team. They take pride in their work and reputation. Just call 704-435-1791 or visit the website at CreasonRoofingLLC.com. Like them on Facebook too. That's Creason Roofing of Cherryville. Make your business or office a Boss or Carolina Country listener post. All you have to do is tune your radio in your business or office to 107.5 FM or 92.3 FM. Let us know and we'll put your name on the radio. And each month we'll have a drawing from area listener posts for a dozen breakfast biscuits from the Creekside Clock Restaurant in Shelby, along with coffee or tea. Area listener posts include Promotion Motors in Lincolnton, Cherryville Signs and Graphics, Lowe's of Lincolnton, Watson Carpet and Tile, R&D Mattress Center of Cherryville, Carolina Furniture Mart, Memory Lane in Krause, Watson Carpet and Tile, Davis Brothers Automotive, and Carolina Furniture Mart. So make your business or office a Boss or Carolina Country listening post today. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
It's time to tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club. Open to the public 7 days a week. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for $40. And seniors 55 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $24. For your tee time, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club. 100 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
Happy Mother's Day from everyone at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. And for your mom, Hometown Hardware has some special gift ideas. Come see their ready-made potted plants, all ready to go. You'll find Corinthian bell wind chimes and a huge selection of pottery. See the selection of hanging baskets, ferns, and flowering plants. For that unique Mother's Day gift idea, see Howard Elmore and the guys at Hometown Hardware, located at 110 South Railroad Avenue in downtown Kings Mountain. And again, happy Mother's Day from everyone at Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Back to you guys in the studio.
We're going to let you break it down today, Jay. You ain't been here all morning. Why don't you break down the Warriors-Rockets game last night, Terry? JP.
The Warriors won and the Rockets lost.
Hey.
You did well.
Hey,
there you go. Did well.
Hey, you know how I knew that? Because I've got the thing up right in front of me.
That's all that matters.
At least he's smarter than the
Inside
average Bear is
info.
what it matters. I mean, he can read. We proved that.
He can read.
So, JP, you did a good job this morning reading that.
Thank you.
Just luckily it didn't say Syracuse, and we wouldn't have
Socrates.
The Socrates 400. Last night, the Warriors surprised the world. They shocked the world, y'all. Shocked the world.
Imagine that.
Everyone in the world, and every they said going into the game, this is James Harden's legacy. There's no Durant. You've got Chris Paul. You got the game at home. No excuses, right, Terry?
I want to debunk that. I want to debunk this whole notion that this is James Harden's legacy.
All right.
You know what I think doesn't help? Now, I think it helps James Harden's numbers. I'll say this, but what I'm about to say is I don't think Mike D'Antoni helps his team.
I agree.
I think their style of basketball he is trying to implement for them is not championship caliber basketball. Every time they'll get close, but the team that plays the more sharing of the ball, they spread the wealth, will always win. Because James Harden can go out there and score 35 all the time, but if all you want to do is shoot threes, you know what they're looking like? They're looking like the NBA's version of how Duke used to be a few years ago.
People want real quick. Hold on, let's keep going.
Go ahead.
Here's the designs of the offense. What's different about it? People might not understand. Mm-hmm. The Warriors' offense is designed for the open man to shoot.
Yes.
The Rockets' offense is designed to shoot under 10 seconds.
Yes.
They want it's a speed. Or really 15 seconds too. They want to get the shot off before 10 seconds is off on the shot clock. It's a timing thing. It's a more shots thing. Ask D'Antoni. They just want to shoot 50. They want to shoot 53s. That's their goal, Terry. Because he thinks if we make a certain percentage of them, it's going to be tough for the other team to win. And that's what the math says. And that if you keep shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting, Detroit Pistons proved back in 2001. You play a little defense. You shut
it
that
helps
down.
a little bit. Yes.
They shot. Now, the Rockets, remember, they'll blame the refs in this series.
Yeah.
The first game, they blamed the refs. They missed 33 three-pointers in that game.
What was that?
Last night, they missed 22 three-pointers in the game. James Harden himself missed 9. All right, so they lost by 5. That means 2 three-pointers, right, Terry? Let's look at who all missed more than 2 three-pointers. P.J. Tucker missed 3. He lost the game for him. Mm-hmm. Chris Paul missed 3. He lost the game for him.
Yeah.
James Harden missed 9 three-pointers. That's 27 points he left on the board. And people can say, shoot those threes, Terry, but what if those were 2s?
And what if
he made
hit
3
twos?
of them?
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Instead of 27 of them.
At the end of the day, the easiest shot's still if you get to the rim.
All right.
It's
Who else
still the
missed
easiest
3-pointers?
shot.
How about Gerald Green? He missed 4 three-pointers. So there's 4 people on your team that missed more 3-point points than the Rockets lost by.
I have seen the NBA go from guys driving to the hole to stop and throw it back out to a three-pointer, and they had a layup to get 2,
That's
but
LeBron.
they want
Yeah.
it for 3.
That's LeBron's game right there.
And to dish it back out for 3 and hope he hits it from out there.
I want to see.
And that's what the LeBron Jordan argument people the Jordan people drives you crazy about. Because if you drop a play with LeBron on the team, it's him to drive and to kick it to some dude making $3 million in the corner.
Yeah.
If it's Jordan, it's him to drive and dunk on somebody and get the one in the foul.
There's a one of the podcasts I listen to. Of course, they get all sorts of people to come on. They do interviews with one. It was a former VP of the Spurs, Kirk Goldsberry. He was a big analytics guy, and he said that what the Houston Rockets are trying to do to the NBA will ruin the NBA because all they want to do is settle for nothing but jump shots, threes. He said there will be many of times where you're watching a game and it's three-pointer, nobody's there for the rebound, team comes down, three-pointer, nobody's there for the rebound, they come back down, three-pointer, nobody's there for the rebound. He said the three-pointer.
That's how Westbrook gets his triple-double.
Yeah, that's how he said. He said it's not good for the game. He said statistically, at the end of the day, the shot closest to the basket is still the higher percentage shot.
Well, I did the math before the season started and tried to show you guys. Dwight Howard last year shot a team record for the Charlotte Hornets. 100. It was 56%.
Yeah.
I think, for the field. If he shoots 100 times, the possessions are about 110 actually. If he shoots 100 times, Terry, at 56%, he scores 112 points. Well, they averaged 111 this year. So how is Dwight Howard dunking the ball every time worse than think about it? We shot 43s a game because that's what we think. That's what everyone and see. The problem is everybody trying to do everybody thinks they can be Steph. And Steph showed last night you can't be Steph. Because the difference between Steph, and it's been this way since he started playing on this, he's shooting from 40 feet. One thing about the 3-point line, the college is talking about they're going to move back to the international line this year. So it's another foot back. The NBA needs to make that 3-point line a true circle. Instead of cutting it off in the corner, go ahead and make the 3-point line all the way, and there'll be no corner shot in the NBA. Then you push all those offensive players, guys out of the corner, and up towards the middle of the court.
Goldsberry said as well. One reason why the 3-point shot is so promised because hand checking's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't touch them when they're on the perimeter. You got to give them at least a foot.
The James Harden fouls are insane during the regular season.
I know.
You can just jump into somebody.
They're ridiculous.
And the ref be like, "You created that contact." Isn't that how you're supposed to do, Terry?
Yeah.
It's whoever creates the contact, right?
That's the way I call it.
I mean,
and see, that's why to me,
you created the contact,
to me,
dude.
and I'm not mad at all that Golden State beat Houston. At the end of the day, the better ball team won. And that's why I said this is not going to take away from James Harden's legacy because he still went out there and scored 30.
35.
But he can do that, I think, anywhere. I just think D'Antoni's offense elevates that as well. But I also think D'Antoni's offense is what really, I'm just going to say, that's what screws the Rockets every year in the playoffs.
And their defense, too, because here's why. I was sitting there watching that game last night. And Nene played 9 minutes. Capella played 31. But when Steph in the fourth quarter was getting to the rack, too.
Mm-hmm.
In 1999 against the Detroit Pistons, is Steph Curry getting to the rack, too?
No.
I want you to think about that.
He can play.
Even if he does, Lampier's killing him once he gets there.
Not Lampier. I'm just talking about the 99 Pistons with Rasheed and Ben Wallace and
that's true.
Chauncey Billups and them. The thing about it is that those lanes are so wide open to where Steph
defense is forgotten.
Steph can shoot threes and play in any era and any time. But he can't drive and get those extra 10 points.
No, I mean, as great of a shooter as he is, people got to remember he's still small. He's still like 6'2", maybe 6'3".
And there's nobody contesting the drives.
No.
And that's what LeBron gets when he gets his drives. There's no 7-footer and they're trying to block those shots. How many times does he just drive, use his weight against whoever he's driving with, and then try to throw it up off the glass?
Scored 23 in the fourth quarter.
By the way, folks, he had 0 points at halftime.
Ended with 33.
How do you look at the Rockets and say Steph Curry's got 0 points at halftime and you're tied with them? They were tied at halftime.
And think you have a chance because let me tell you something. In the second half, he's not going to have zero. He's not going to have zero. No, but see, that's another thing.
And think about what you
defense.
just got through saying because you're sitting there and you say you do not have Durant.
No,
you do not have Cousins. And Steph has 0, and you're tied.
And you're tied.
No Durant, no Cousins.
And that's
Steph of 0
on the major networks. That's what some of the analysts and the quote unquote NBA experts have been talking about. They're saying, look, this team is still just as good without Kevin Durant. They won a championship without him.
They are.
Well, as long as
they're just not as deep on the bench as they were.
Here's what they are. they're right now. Let's say they're the same team from 5 years ago. You still got Bogut, Curry, Iguodala, Thompson, and
Yeah, because
Green.
they brought Bogut back in.
They're all older. Bogut got 0 points last night total.
Still spotted.
But he's
older.
still a rim protector.
Here's what they don't have. They don't have a Harrison Barnes now.
No, they don't. They don't
have.
They don't have bench.
That's where Kevin Durant filled that spot and made that spot even better.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a team. What Steph Curry makes with he's on, they can beat anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm.
The key to all that is Curry is Klay Thompson being good on defense, and he's solid. He's going to get you the 20. The rest of them right now, they have no bench right now. But then last night, Kevin Looney and Sean Livingston dropped 25 points off the bench. Kevin Looney last night, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds.
And guess what? That says
he has a negative 5.
That says 6 of 8 from the field, and that's 0-0 from the 3-point line. And guess what? Because he knows his role and he knows where his best shot is, and they're not asking a power forward to go out there and just jack a 3.
I mean,
they're not.
Bogut didn't even. Bogut took 1 shot.
That's what I'm saying.
12 minutes.
Like, not every big man in the league can shoot 3s, so don't ask them to all the time. Put them down low in the block. Let them get their rebounds.
I think that's the most important thing that people don't. That they get on all this play.
Does it not make you so mad when you see a team get a defensive rebound, push immediately, and shoot a 3, and his team is still trying to make it down the court? There's no rebound. You're praying for a long brick for it to bounce off the rim and just shoot right back out.
That's why OKC doesn't work. Is Westbrook's penchant for he gets his own rebound.
Yeah.
Then he dribbles it up himself and shoots it himself. If you're a teammate with somebody that plays like that, I mean, you don't really want to be on the court a lot of times. You'd rather. I've actually asked, or said to a coach, let me play when he's not on the court. Cause I'm gonna get shots off. I'm gonna be able to move the ball. I'll be the 6th man. If he's on the court, I'm not. Some people are. I've been on courts where someone does that. You're just like, there's no point in me being out here. I'm not coming out here just to guard this guy so this guy can get every rebound and take every shot.
And you touched on Houston's defense. And see, that's something that they've been raving about with Milwaukee. While Milwaukee is now a threat if Kevin Durant's injury is as serious as it is for Golden State's, because Milwaukee's top 5 in offense and defense. And that's something that people forget. Like, you can't expect to outscore them every night. Okay, you got to play a little bit of defense.
I think Milwaukee has a slight chance
I think they got
against the
chance.
Warriors.
I think they got a slight chance.
If Durant's not there.
Oh, if Durant's
here's what
there,
the Warriors
it's over.
have, and here's the thing about Giannis. They've got Draymond, they've got Iguodala, they got Thompson. If Durant's healthy, that's 4 people that can just straight up.
Oh, I know.
No, I'm not gonna say they're shutting down Giannis. That's
No.
4 people that they don't care if they're matched up with Giannis.
They're
not.
not. That's what I'm saying. Nobody on that team, I think, is going to try and shut down Giannis. They're going to say, "We'll let you get yours. We're not going to let your surrounding pieces get anything."
You're not, and what the Warriors will force them to do, I think, is to out-Warrior the Warriors, and that means you've got to think Chris Middleton's out shooting Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I don't think the Warriors do it. In fact, of course, I've picked the Raptors from the season start. They'll be tonight at home. What a weird series. We're going to get in that.
That is probably the weirdest series.
Tomorrow we've got 2 Game 7s, Portland and Denver. Just think if Portland had Nurkic in this series.
I'll say this. I don't know if you guys have, because it's usually the later game for Portland. Obviously,
almost nobody. I would say almost nobody on this that's listening to this show has watched Portland and Denver.
I know, but I will say this.
My uncle Mike, he's a Portland fan.
Everybody probably saw that matchup. Everybody probably saw that matchup and was going to think, oh, it's going to be a snooze fest compared to everybody else. Those have been some of the best games I've watched. Portland.
Well, I was getting ready to say I've watched them up until halftime.
They're phenomenal.
Does Jokic? I'll ask Terry see if he. Everybody's talking about him being the point forward in this nest. Does he not remind you of Arvydas Sabonis? The way the big man plays there at the top of the key, passing the ball, moving it around. Sabonis was excellent passer.
Yeah.
Who else passes that big man like that, moves around? He's leading it, by the way, he's leading the NBA in minutes right now in the postseason, too.
And I mean, for what he's doing, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do what he's doing for Denver.
He's
you know what I'm
phenomenal.
saying?
He is phenomenal.
And
I remember we saw Sabonis at the end of his career. He smoked the Team USA in one of the Olympic games.
This is a good comparison, though. I saw a tweet, and it said, which big man would you rather have to start your franchise with right now, because they're both in the playoffs? Would you rather have Embiid, or would you rather have Joker? I'm taking Jokic.
I'm taking Jokic.
I'm taking Jokic.
Yeah.
Well,
I love that nickname, too, Joker. I love that nickname.
The number one ability is availability, and
Joel
we're going to talk about Philadelphia in just a minute. But let's give you what's up right now, folks. Portland and Denver and Philadelphia and Toronto play tomorrow in Game 7s at 3:30 and 7. The Bucks have advanced over the Celtics, and the Golden State Warriors advanced over the Rockets. JP, we're ready for another break in there. Hey, come here and press the button. Got him in here, Terry. Got him sit up a little bit.
He's looking around.
Hey, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see JP right now, I think, in the middle of the screen. If you see him doze off or fall asleep, please call 704-435-2844 and say, hey, JP, wake up. But we'll be back in just a minute. We got to finish up this playoffs. We're going to talk this Portland-Denver matchup. We're going to talk the future of the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. Going to be a wild summer, I think, coming up this summer. We'll be back in just a minute on KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I've got good news and I've got some bad news that we're going to make good news. First, the Boss will be broadcasting live this Saturday, May the 11th, from 10 till 3 at Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby. We'll be there with free Dairy Queen hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Plus, come by and register to win some great prizes. Now the bad news. Because of the predicted inclement weather, the Classic Belt Car Show has been canceled. But now the good news. It's been rescheduled for Saturday, June 1st. Yes, the belt will be up for grabs. And now, through June 1st, come in and find out how you could win a Mark & Forsey limited edition, custom-wrapped, laminated Mustang hood with Afterglow artwork. Valued at $3,600. So come on and see us Saturday, May the 11th, 10 till 3, and enjoy a free Dairy Queen hot dog at Classic Ford Lincoln, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right on the Classic corner. For more information, call Classic Ford Lincoln, 704-482-6791. It's the annual Down Home Festival this Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th in downtown Bessemer City. 2 big days of family fun, including rides, vendors, food, fireworks, and more. It'll be Friday from 6 to 10, Saturday 12 noon till 10. Pick up this week's WhatsApp Shopper for a schedule of events. Brought to you by Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia, Parker Farm Service, Kings Mountain, Elo Sweets in Bessemer City, Happy Feet in Bessemer City, La Favorita Restaurant in Bessemer City, and Movie Mania in Bessemer City. So plan now to be there Friday and Saturday, March 10th and 11th for the 31st annual Down Home Days in downtown Bessemer City. For more information, go to bessemercity.com.
With a roster full of young superstars, the sky's the limit for the 2019 Atlanta Braves, and we'll bring you every huge moment.
Fly ball to deep left center field. At the track, looking up, it's out of here.
Atlanta Braves baseball back again on the Boss in Carolina Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. The strawberries are in at Spake Farms in Shelby. Big, red, delicious, juicy, sweet strawberries. Great for ice cream, pies, on cake, or just to eat by themselves. Pick them yourself or get them already picked. Spake Farms, Highway 150 East, a quarter mile above the YMCA in Shelby. The strawberries are waiting for you now at Spake Farms in Shelby. From auto to home to business to life insurance, your hometown agent is Rocky Bennett at Bennett Insurance Group. Rocky has been serving this area for over 33 years, offering you the best in coverage with Erie Insurance. No matter your claim, Rocky will work side by side with you for your best coverage. See Rocky Bennett today at Bennett Insurance Group, 116 West Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0270 for Bennett Insurance in Cherryville.
Attention homeowners. With more buyers than sellers, now is the perfect time to sell your home. For over 25 years, Moss Realty has known there is more to selling your home than placing a sign in the yard. To sell your home in days, even hours, trust the hometown specialist at Moss Realty. Satisfied customers have voted Moss Realty Best of Gaston the last 2 years.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. When you're buying or selling your home, call the professionals at Moss Realty or visit mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
And welcome back to Sam Warren Sports Talk with Kevin Hastings, Hunter Yancey, and Terry Reinhardt.
Terry,
and as always, I'm JP.
Terry, what's the best way to get a timeout if you ain't got one?
Knock somebody's coffee over.
Yeah, that's what Jason
simple.
Kidd did one time. We was talking about that in the break. Why? What's going on in Lakerland? Real quick, people want to know a whole lot of craziness. Basically, Tyronn Lue turned down the 8th. He wanted a 5-year deal, and he wanted to be in charge. And the Lakers offered him a 3-year deal, told him that Jason Kidd's going to be his assistant, and we're going to try to bring in Kyrie. And he wanted none of that, Terry. And so no Ty Lue in L.A., which is, I mean, he wouldn't have made them a better team. The only thing he was going to do is just make LeBron not be whiny, maybe. I mean, what's Ty Lue going to do?
Ty Lue's a puppet.
Yeah,
I thought Ty Lue was LeBron's puppet when he was in Cleveland.
Exactly.
I think every coach LeBron's ever had is LeBron's puppet. The only one that might not be is Jason Kidd.
Well, Spoelstra.
Well,
that's Riley's
Spoelstra's.
puppet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Pat Riley. Pat Riley's just coaching through Eric Spoelstra. He still is.
So, like I said, we got Portland and Denver tomorrow, Philadelphia and Toronto. Everybody's talking about where's Kawhi going. Everybody thinks maybe the Clippers. But if they make the finals, will. And that's what I don't understand. Everybody's talking about, well, Kyrie's going to leave the Celtics and go to the Lakers. Well, Lakers didn't make the playoffs. Kawhi's going to leave Toronto and go to the Clippers. Well, Clippers were the 8th seed, and they would have to
the Warriors 7 games.
You have to beat the Warriors, and so, or you could be in Toronto and make the Eastern Conference Finals every year, maybe the actual finals every year. So those are kind of some.
Here's a hot take
weird
for you.
Things for that.
I thought about this whenever I saw the Lakers fans out there protesting because Clippers fans started to show up, and then I heard media coverage about how like they were just like, oh, and the little brothers, how does it feel? Do you think the little brother's going to overtake the big brother? And I was thinking, well, Clippers Nation, you've got a good team right now. You've got Doc Rivers, you've got a good coach, you got a good front office, got Jerry West up there. And you're trying to coax in big free agents. One of the biggest free agents that's going to be on the market is Kevin Durant. Well, why don't the owner, because Ballmer, I think, will do anything to try and win. How about you, Seattle might be wanting a team. If you want to stop being this so-called little brother of L.A., move back up to Seattle, change your name to the Supersonics. And Kevin Durant's already said he would love if the Supersonics came back to the NBA. Maybe you could coax KD to come into there. That is just the master plan from Hunter. If you want to get Kevin Durant, there you go, Clippers. I'm open to negotiations for this idea.
That's a lot of steps.
I'm open to this negotiation. Because that's what's so funny, because they even said, like, I thought they just did this. I didn't realize that the Clippers pay rent to the Lakers to use some of their offices at Staples Center. They pay rent. Why don't you just go get your own?
Yeah,
get out for, because at the end of the day, if you say L.A., everybody on the east. Real estate is in LA? No, I'm not meaning. That's why I said go to Seattle, because or somewhere else. At the end of the day, like when you say Los Angeles here on the East Coast, and you're talking basketball, everybody's thinking, oh, you're talking about the Lakers. Nobody just instantly thinks the Clippers, even though the Clippers are the better organization right now. So how about you get up and underneath this shadow that the Lakers are casting, go to maybe even just move down to, I don't know, San Diego or something.
I see Memphis moving to Seattle.
I want to mention one thing, and when people are talking about Boston, which we've never got there.
But Terry's wasting his time.
I am. I'm going to waste a little bit of people's time, but I'm going to tell you what happened.
I wasted enough right there, but I thought it was a dope idea, so I had to get it out.
I know. But when you go to Boston and you think of why now I never did bother letting Kyrie go, or either one of them, Hayward, either one, I'm going to break some stuff down for you because Boston fans, and this is how I looked at their series.
Paper.
I do. You're exactly right. And I'm going to tell you, Jaylen Brown, when he started for Boston all 5 games, he was 27 out of 58, 46.5%. Next one on the list was Al Horford. People talk about him not showing up. Al Horford did everything he could. He was 30 out of 63 for 47.6%. Morris come in, 25 out of 40, 62.5% he hit when he got the ball and was shooting. And then we go to the guys who are supposed to be making Tatum. Yeah, it's only his second year. He was 20 out of 55, shooting 36%. He was one of the worst. Until you get to Kyrie Irving. And here's what everybody says that, and this is why I think
Terry,
this is the leader. Wait a minute. Yeah. This is the leader that Boston said would take them to to win an NBA title. Game 1, he was 12 out of 21 with 11 assists. Boston wins. Game 2, 4 out of 18. Game 3, 8 out of 22. Game 4, 7 out of 22. And Game 5, 6 out of 21 for his total in this series, 25 out of 83 for 30%. This is the guy that's supposed to lead y'all.
He told you he wasn't going to go 8 for 22 again, so he went 7 for 22.
So after Game 1, shooting over 50%, y'all, he was terrible. Shooting in right at the 30 to 28% range
I'll
for
admit
Boston.
it. He was awful. After that first game, it was seriously the hunt for Kyrie Irving. That's what it was, not the hunt for whatever Red October, that movie or whatever. Is the hunt for Kyrie Irving because you couldn't find him.
Well,
And
there's
he was
your
hunting
deal.
for him.
There's your deal with him to LeBron. If LeBron had been with Boston, Boston would have won and went on. There's the difference. Kyrie was trying to want his own team so I can lead my own team. Kyrie, you had your chance this year. Boston don't need you. We wish you would leave. And that's me, and I'm a Boston man.
Whoa. Well, see, this plays off of what Kevin has said, and I've agreed with what Kevin has said, and I'm pretty sure you agree as well, is that a team cannot win when you want your point guard to be the main focus.
That was my next point. In the NBA, you cannot win a championship with a scoring first point guard that leads your team in scoring.
Unless your name is Steph Curry.
It's happened 3 times in the history of the NBA. Steph Curry did it once. Isaiah Thomas did it once, and Magic Johnson did it once.
Those sound like some Hall of Famers.
The only 3 point guards who ever led their team in scoring in the NBA Finals and won the championship and led their team, and they all did it once. Magic's got 5 rings, but only one time he led the team in scoring, Terry. Isaiah Thomas has got 2, the only one time he led the team, and Steph's got 3. The only time he led it was the one time. So only 3 times in the history of the NBA has that happened. Now, what else? Where else could you go and see trends like this? How about in the NFL? You can't win a championship with a running quarterback. Who's been the running quarterback? You could say, people say, Steve Young was a running quarterback. Yeah, before he was 35 years old and won the Super Bowl, throwing 6 touchdowns, an NFL record. You say Russell Wilson was a running quarterback, but he also threw, I think, 270 yards in that Super Bowl. That's not, he wasn't running all over the place. So there's just a couple of things that at certain points, at certain heights of levels of basketball and sports and baseball, you got center fielders that people say he's the best ever, and they can't even make the playoffs. You point guards. Look at all these teams. Kemba, where are they at? Kyrie.
Yeah.
He won the championship playing with LeBron. He hit it. Granted, he hit the shot. But so did Ray Allen. Ray Allen wasn't the point guard. He just happened to be the guy that took the shot.
He happened to be the open guy in the corner.
Right. So, Westbrook ain't gonna. Harden ain't gonna do it. Steve Nash has got 2.
Harden might if he stops being so ball dominant because he's a shooting guard by trade. Okay, he's a shooting guard, but they want. That offense is designed for him to have the ball in his hands more than Chris Paul, who has been a top 5 point guard for the last 10 to 15 years or ever since he's been in the league. And now they want to take the ball out of his hands and say, oh, well, let James do it.
It's just, Terry knows, it's hard to, and we talk about it. It's hard for the point guard to be the leading shooter on a team and you winning. It's hard for other teams to deal with because, Damian Lillard's out here running all over the place. Mm-hmm. It is. It's extremely hard to deal with. But that guy can't do it by himself. He needs a guard, a shooting guard. Think about the ones that have been successful lately. Damian's got McCollum out there. Yeah, Harden's got 2 other guards out there. He's got Gordon and Chris Paul out there. Mm-hmm. So they need another guard that can shoot to take it away from them. Steph's got Klay Thompson. Let's not forget this. Clay's a good shooter.
Klay is tough.
He's got Kevin Durant as well.
And Durant now.
But now here's my deal. When people ask me, they say, well, where should Boston go? Anthony Davis, his dad don't want him to come to Boston, but I think Anthony Davis would fit good. Kevin Love, you mentioned a while ago, he's coming up. He would fit good in Boston. We have got point guards that Terry Rozier can run the point just as good as anybody that's out there.
Terry Rozier last year
said I'm
one of the best point guards in the league, not on the team, in the league.
I agree.
Well, real quick, Terry, while you're on this, let's talk about that real quick. Your point guard. Here's your championship point guards the last few years, okay? Steph, of course, won those. Tony Parker won an MVP in there. For Dallas, when they won it, Jason Kidd was old. Derek Fisher was the point guard before that.
Yeah,
Derek
but even
Fisher.
he was not the leading scorer.
Like,
no.
It was
Like,
Kobe.
no.
That's
No,
Kobe.
that's what I'm saying. Think about all the point guards that have won championships. Rondo was the point guard for the Celtics.
And that's
Mario
Paul Pierce's team.
Mario Chalmers was the point guard for the Heat. Chauncey didn't lead their team in scoring. He was a scorer. He was a good guard.
I'm glad
He
you
led their
said
team in
that
assists, though.
a
He got about
minute
10
ago
assists a game.
when he was talking about Pierce led. But Pierce would sit back right now and tell you, even on that talk show they had, he'll tell you Garnett was the man who led
Yeah, he
that
says
team.
Garnett's the best player on the team.
Sure did.
I mean, he sits there in Minnesota doing nothing.
Did
and
you
then
see
and then he
that?
gets there.
How much flack he took, and this is not about him saying when the Bucks should just that it's over. Whenever he said that he's had a better career than Dwayne Wade did,
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Doesn't Garnett get left out in the greatest players of all time talk when we
He
talk
does.
about small forwards and power
does.
forwards?
Garnett
He's
was
the, he's the
power
first
forward.
7-footer. That, he played small forward his first 5, 6, 7 years. He was the first 7-footer out there shooting the threes like that and doing that. Him and Rasheed started doing that
He brought
stuff.
such a grit to the game too.
Him, Rasheed,
God.
and Dirk Nowitzki came out shooting
He was
the
going
threes.
to throw
at
an
power
elbow
forward.
at any moment. Any moment.
And the reason I think people don't give Garnett credit is because he is a jerk. So there you go, Terry. And everybody will say that about him. So let me go back to the championships. Bulls championships. Who was their point guards? Ron Harper, John Paxson. Lakers championships were Derek Fisher. The first Spurs championship wasn't Vinny Del Negro the point guard on that team, maybe, or
he
who?
played
No,
for them, I
Avery
do.
Johnson was
There
the
you
point guard
go.
on that
I was
team.
getting
Yeah, but
ready to
even
say.
the Spurs ones where they were winning with Tony Parker, that's Tim
Right.
Duncan's team.
Kenny Smith. Well, I said Parker had the one MVP. The rest of them was
Duncan.
Kawhi and Duncan.
Yeah.
Kenny Smith with the Rockets. Nobody's gonna say he's an all-time great.
So you do not have to have a legit guy. You just
That's
got
what
to
I'm saying. You
have
don't have to have a 20-point scoring
Rozier,
point guard.
somebody that just runs the show.
How about this? Iverson was the point guard his whole career
Yeah.
until Larry Brown got there, moved him to shooting guard, put in Eric Snow at point guard, and they make the finals. Are you going to tell me Eric Snow's a better point guard than Allen Iverson? No.
No, Allen
But
Iverson.
Iverson's a 90,000 times better shooting guard than Eric Snow is. So that's what when we talk about Kemba, I think he would work better. When they got Batum, I thought they were going to play
Could
Batum.
you imagine
I
his
thought they were gonna play
scoring
Batum.
out like what he does now?
Right.
Just if they were wide open shots from the two positions.
See, that's what
How
I'm saying.
hard is
I
that
thought they
for
were going to
people
play
to
Batum at
understand?
the 1 and 2 a lot. Instead, they're playing him at 3 and 4, trying to stretch this out. If he was running the point, moving Kimba around, I think that they would have they would work better that way.
Tell me that. How hard is that for people to understand? Don't get me wrong. I like Westbrook. I like how he plays. I like what he does. But for people to understand, I mean, I've had teams that I've coached before, and you go into a room and they're picking all-stars, and people say, well, that person never scored nothing against me. And I'm like, okay, you don't know basketball. Because they had 14 assists. I mean, you know.
Well, they all want to talk about. I mean, it's true. At the end of the day, it's all about getting buckets. It's who's out here scoring points. I mean, that's how.
Terry, and you're preaching to the choir with me as someone who played point guard, and I'm sitting there counting my assists, and that's a good pass, and that's a good pass. And you throw passes sometimes, you're like, I have no idea if this is getting through.
Oh, well, here's
and then
the
it does,
thing.
and you're so excited.
But
you're
here's
like,
the thing, though. It's
but that guy would have never scored if you wouldn't have took that chance.
When I played ball with my friends, obviously I didn't play at any like structured level. I just played basketball with my friends, and it doesn't matter. But I know what my strengths and my weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And I don't go out there just like how Russell Westbrook doesn't. See, I don't go out here jacking 15 to 20 threes a game, knowing good and well I'm shooting below 30% from the three-point line. Maybe even below 25%. I understand you can attack the basket, and he is ferocious when he attacks the basket. He's either going to the line or he's dunking on you. But just, you got to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. How are you helping your team? Kind of like Kevin was pointing out when we were going over the Rockets missing all those threes, and they missed more threes than they lost by. Well, how's that helping your team? Paul George, who's standing right next to you, has got a higher percentage chance of hitting that shot than you do, Westbrook. Why don't you defer? You still get your assist to go towards your stat line. I don't get it. That's like me. Like I'm good on a spot up jump shot, and if I can go to the lane. But if I have to try and shoot while I'm on the move, it's not really going to work. I'll get close, but I don't try and do that. So if I'm moving, I'm trying to pass it somewhere because I know if I'm just going to miss. I'm just going to miss, and it's going to be a wasted possession.
Hunter, you make a great point in basketball-wise in that, and you surprised me there.
Imagine that, you know?
That I think, Terry, one of the best things, what makes a good basketball player, and Hunter's right, is knowing your abilities.
Yes, I agree.
That's the number one thing, because if I'm on a fast break, I see who's on it with me. I know I can't dump it. Say I can't dump it to Hunter moving, or I can't dump it to my center when he's moving. He'll travel or throw something off. You have to know your ability.
Just
to
like
know
Klay Thompson.
Well, here's the reason.
Klay Thompson is one of the best spot-up jump shooters. He might catch it. All he has to do is take a dribble. But if you try and get him off the dribble, he's not as efficient. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he knows where he'll get it from, and he knows where he can't get it from.
Well, my whole deal behind it is you got to have a dub player. And when I look at Golden State, it's Draymond Green. He does whatever it takes with the rebound. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you've got to have one.
To say he wants to talk about Draymond.
No, it's
so
not
bad.
that. You've got to have one. He knows when to assist. He knows when to get rebounds. He knows when to do his job. I mean, it's not him scoring 50, 60 points a game.
They say it all the time. Do your job. They say it all the time. Just do your job.
Yeah.
Don't try and do someone else's job. Do your job.
And the only thing I have people to understand is, think about it. 25 out of 83. Kyrie Irving
What did
missed
you just say?
58 shots.
Call him Mervin?
Yeah. 58 shots he missed.
You think Bird ever missed 58 shots in a series?
No.
No. I'm just thinking. That's 7.
That's all you have to say.
That's Bird miss. He might 8 shots a game.
If I told you we're coming in this and one of my guys is going to miss 50, you'd never ever say Kyrie Irving's one of the guys going to miss 58 shots.
Well, who do you have winning these game 7s?
Yep.
All right. In the game 7s, I think it's tough to beat a home team. I think Toronto and I think Denver both are going to win.
They've proven it's tough to win it on the road. All these teams.
And I don't know who Philadelphia is.
You don't.
I don't either.
I mean,
I don't
and I think a lot of people have been making the point, coming to the realization this week, that Simmons and Embiid's games don't mix.
Not at all.
Because they both need to be inside the 3-point lane. Simmons, they're saying, is afraid to shoot. Jalen Rose is like, he's not even shooting, like, as in not even attempting it.
What was it? Not this game, but the game 5. He only had like 4 shots.
Yeah.
He only put up like 4.
They said he was sick.
To me, he's only 21. He's a young Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's
but
6'10",
he looks like
6'11".
he's 35.
Yeah. But
yeah, he's built.
But the thing about it is, Philadelphia, they're saying, and I think they're going to have to make a choice on him. And we're talking about that process.
Yeah, the process.
The idea worked to where they got the 4 number 1 picks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The process didn't work because they blew 2 of them. And
I think they blew more of them. Nerlens Noel, Jaleel. Well, the third pick.
Noel ain't terrible.
Jaleel
Okafor and Fultz.
And Markelle Fultz.
They totally blew. Embiid's health makes you put him on a 50-50 to where now you have to think, yes, Embiid's game, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
But the number 1 ability, as always, is availability. Do you want 40 to 50 games of that, or do you want 82 games of Simmons running a point guard like Giannis? Because if Simmons has got shooters around him like Giannis does, instead of because you got Jimmy's a one-on-one player, Tobias is really a one-on-one player, and Embiid is. You got all these one-on-one players. Reddick's. What if he had 4 Reddicks on his team instead of kind of like the Rockets or someone else playing?
Is Embiid though really y'all so young that he is injured like this already?
He really
I mean, you're talking maybe
injuries,
2-3 years.
Knee injuries.
Anybody over
he's
7 foot.
He's going to be done.
Anybody over 7 foot. Think about Durant. Who lasts long over 7 foot? Durant is skinny as can be.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem was skinny as can be.
It can't be big and heavy.
Shaq's the only one that lasted more than about 10, 12 years, and he's so in the last 5 was, I'm just bigger than everybody.
I love it. That's what he'll tell you.
And that's everybody's question though about Embiid is obviously he's that big and his health is an issue, but does he take any measures to make his health better? Yeah. Does he eat right? Because some might say he's overweight.
Well, let's say he does get better and healthy for a stint of time. As a 7-footer, that stint of time is still only
it's
5 to 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So let's say at the best case scenario with his Embiid is that he's healthy next year and the next 5 to 7 years. Well, you could get 10 to 12 years of Simmons.
I think Embiid needs to take a page out of Kawhi's book. Say, hey, I might not play back-to-backs. I might miss 20
And
games.
Toronto really helped him.
And it's helped him.
If I'm Philadelphia, I look at exploring an Embiid trade. Basketball
They're
player wise,
talking
if
about
I close
moving
my
Simmons,
if I close my eyes and say basketball players, I'd rather have Embiid, but the availability thing, the fact that Simmons is 21, he's putting up numbers that only Giannis and these other
And
Magic Johnson have put up at this
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Yes, he can't shoot, but then again, Magic couldn't shoot for 5 or 6 years, Terry. And a lot of people don't admit that Magic couldn't. You would let Magic shoot a 3.
The ceiling for Ben Simmons is high. He's got a high upside if he can get it all together.
Right.
He's a LeBron-esque type player.
I always bet my money on the wings and not
the
big man, because Greg Oden, Sam Bowie, Jaleel Okafor, all these big men taken in the top 3. The risk reward has always been the 2 guard or the 3 guard has always been the better pick on those. And yeah, you want the 7-footer if you get him, but not in today's game. And if you got one today that can play, that's fine. But the wings, you've got to have wings that can score, and they don't. So Toronto and Philadelphia, y'all both said Denver as well at home.
Yeah,
I think Denver's. I had Denver, Toronto, Golden State, Milwaukee going into this next round.
Mm-hmm.
I feel confident about that, but Denver's inexperienced. That's my only thing I worry about them.
And let me say something. Dame is not going to go down without a fight. When it comes to the Toronto-Philadelphia thing, I chose the 76ers. I'm not going to jump off of them. I'm going to stick with the 76ers because I'm just going to stick with my pick. But I'm not going to lie. I'm shaky because I don't know who's showing up.
They got so much talent. They got a great starting lineup.
They easily,
might have the best
besides
starting
Golden
lineup.
State, could have the most talent on the floor.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
But at the end of the day, I don't even know what this head coach is doing. I don't know if Philadelphia's got the right coach. I don't. Because he had Embiid the other night playing all those minutes, knowing good and well he was actually hindering your team because he's sick.
All right, Terry. Well, let's real quick. Got to go to break. So that means let's say Denver and Toronto win. Mm-hmm. Who do you got? Toronto and Milwaukee. Who do you got in the final? Who you got winning the finals? Who you got in the finals and winning it, Terry?
I've got. I don't know, man. The Greek Freak showed me differently. I just can't see them beating Toronto with all the skilled guys that Toronto has.
I just want to
remind
40
you.
10-point victories this year.
And they're the only team that has gotten one loss. They haven't gone to a Game 7. They've only lost once in this playoffs, and that was Game 1. Giannis in the final game gives you guys 28-8, 2 steals and 2 blocks.
Here's what's going to happen in the next round, though. If Toronto wins, now Giannis has the best defensive player in the NBA on him. That's going to be the difference in that.
Yeah, but
series.
I'll tell you what, he's got
that right there.
People will not give him credit, but Milwaukee's actually got a decent core around him. Chris Middleton can play.
It's going to
be Eric Bledsoe when he is on. There's their third.
Milwaukee's going to have to hit threes.
Stars, but
Toronto's people are just going to have to show up, and it's going to be, I think, Kawhi and Giannis.
I was about to say, and I'm not gonna. That is going to be the battle between those two. And Kyle Lowry's been known to just shrink in the playoffs.
If he gets 15 points a
times.
game,
We've
I
seen
think
it a
they're
couple
okay.
times.
I know. He worries me. Denver and Golden State. Let's do it this way. If Durant plays and if Durant don't play, does that make a difference?
No, Golden State.
No, not in that one. Not in that one.
So then in your finals, y'all both had Milwaukee. I've got Toronto's from the beginning. I still had Golden State over Toronto in both of them.
If Durant doesn't play, Milwaukee's got a shot.
If Durant doesn't play, I think the Eastern
wins.
team's got a shot. It could go 6, maybe 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
If Durant plays, I think
it's
Golden State wins
over
in 5. Yeah. All right, guys, we got to take a quick break. You ready, JP? Make him jump up real quick.
I see it.
Hunter's got the gun, the Nerf gun over. He's going to get it locked and loaded for JP here in a second. All right, we're going to come back. We've got NASCAR to talk about. We've got PGA golf to talk about and Tony Romo. We'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Countdown USA. I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as we count down the week's top 30 with my co-host John Party, who's on the road right now with Dirks Bentley.
I was campaigning for this tour.
Really?
I was like, Dirks, I got nothing to do next year. You want to take me on tour? Remember that last time I was on tour, how much fun we had together?
That's John Party this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KDCBroadcasting.com. Dwight Fowler at Renato Automall in Shelby has done it again. This month, he has marked down a 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 truck by $10,000. That's right. Save $10,000 on this brand new GMC Sierra 1500 truck with crew cab, 4-wheel drive, and the SLT premium package. Hey, that's not all. Save over $7,000 on the 2019 GMC Yukon and save over $6,000 on the 2019 GMC Canyon. See Dwight today and save. Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Come in now and save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, and microwave ovens. Let Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center put a package together for you. Again, save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturday. Now's the time to buy your new Kubota from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Right now, pay zero money down. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Come on in now for all the details. All for good on the Kubota BX Series, the Kubota B Series, the Kubota L Series, and the Kubota MX Series tractors. Again, zero money down and 0% APR financing for 60 months. Get your new Kubota today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. At Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation in Cherryville, it's their passion that makes them different. Their goal is to return their rehabilitation residents home as soon as possible. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation offers 24-hour nursing care, foods prepared on site, private and semi-private accommodation, television and telephone, and even wireless internet. From short-term to long-term care, your care and safety is their top priority. For more information, call and speak with a representative at 704-435-4161 or visit the website at sandstonehealth.com. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation, where their passion makes them different.
If bowling's your game, head to George Pappas Liberty Lanes in Gastonia. At Liberty Lanes in Gastonia, you'll find 32 lanes, 16 with bumpers for small children. Liberty Lanes is a smoke-free facility with a full snack bar and game room with pool tables, plus a pro shop too, providing bowlers of all skill levels with a fun-filled environment for both league and open bowling. That's George Pappas Liberty Lanes, Highway 321 South, Gastonia.
And welcome back to Sammy Moore Sports Talk with Kevin and the guys. Back to y'all.
Welcome back to
He's
Saturday
not taking a
Morning
home
Sports Talk.
discount.
We're arguing about in the break how much money the Cowboys are about to have to waste on their whole offense.
Waste.
Now their defense is about to lose.
Okay, well here and then we'll go into everything. I'll just ask you: out of the three that they're talking about that's going to need their money, Dak and their offensive side, Amari and Zeke, who are you giving the money to first?
I'm giving my money to Zeke.
See, Terry said something smart.
Yeah.
I mean, and Terry knows.
I agree.
He knows from experience too. Terry, what happened in 1992 or 90? No, 93.
Well, you cannot go give Prescott $30 million. I'm sorry.
They're talking about low side like
that's
27.
more than Brady. That's more. I mean, you can start naming quarterbacks. He's good.
Brady's the 18th highest paid quarterback.
That's what I'm talking about. He's good, and we need him. But I'm looking at and I'm gonna give him above average on this, 20 to 22 million.
They're talking about low side 27.
You know, but
27.
See, 27 to me, no. 27 to me is too much.
Well, that's $5 million. That's a cornerback or that's safety.
That's what I'm saying.
And
we're talking about we need a safety.
That's a whole starter.
When we got Heath, and he knows that, but he's like, oh, I like competition. I hope we go get somebody. But if you do stuff like that, then you don't got no room to go get somebody.
You guys are a few years away from those two inside linebackers saying, hey, we might be the best in football. You got to show us some money.
When's the last high-paid quarterback that won the Super Bowl?
Oh, when we went back and
Peyton?
we did that this past year.
How much was
I think
Peyton?
we have talked about that.
Because Brady's not been the highest paid.
Because see,
Matt Ryan's high paid,
because that's
not
like the
doing
new
anything,
MO.
got losing
didn't get
record.
paid until afterwards.
Because that's like the new MO is to try and get there and win while they're under
Are Breeze and
contract.
Rodgers the last people paid more than $15 million to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
$20
because
million
they
to
were.
win a
Yeah, they
what about
were
Eli?
deeper.
Eli probably was.
Maybe.
I can't remember what his contract was when they did that. But the point is, what we're saying is that once you start paying these quarterbacks $20 to $30 million
You can't
on this
afford
cap.
pieces.
You lose a
when you're-
piece every $5 million, basically.
I have it when you start playing like Matt Ryan, $30 million, and he's got a losing playoff record. Come on. I mean, that money can be spent somewhere else.
Matt
you don't
Ryan,
have to do that.
I'm
He's
what,
good.
Matt Ryan's
I like
better
him.
than Dak.
Well, I don't know about all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No.
And it helps that he's got
better
that big
than
monster to throw to on the outside.
That helps.
That's what I'm saying.
The
It
Cowboys'
helps.
problem is Amari Cooper wants money, Zeke wants money. So, I say 93. Emmitt Smith held out for 2 games. He's still the only NFL running back MVP to win the Super Bowl, too.
Yeah.
The running backs usually don't lead to championships, but what they do, if that's what your team's depended on, which that's what the Cowboys team was then, that's your best player. That's your best player. You know, and
On
Zeke,
offense, Ezekiel Elliott
and Zeke
is
their
your best player.
He's their best player.
He is the best player.
And you have to make sure that guy's taken care of, and you can't see like the people say, well, what about the Steelers with Bell and Brown? They're not better than Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, they just at the end of the day, the quality that they can put out there does not.
James
compete with
Conner came in and put up
with
just
what
as good of numbers
Roethlisberger
as Le'Veon.
He did.
So you
He
can
did.
you can do that, but is that same running back going to do the same? Like Bell wouldn't do the same thing Zeke does. Zeke eats. He pounding the ball, you give him the ball. That's what Dak needs. That's not. It's totally different from what Bell does. And
Le'Veon's going to have a high.
Roethlisberger.
What Le'Veon did in Pittsburgh is going to be completely different than what he's about to do with the Jets.
Yeah. And people question, they said, well, what about Dallas? I mean, for Zeke, I don't think we can continue to run Zeke like we have been. Don't get me wrong, he wants the ball. And he's saying, I'm glad we went and got Pollard. I think Pollard will help him where he can get a few breaks during a game. You know, but when the game's on the line, Zeke's going to be the guy that's in there to run it for you. I mean, I think Dallas has got to really set back and come on, man. I know it's going to happen. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm a Cowboy man, and I know it's going to happen. Prescott's going to get his $30 million. And then we're going to have a hard time here up in the future of keeping these other people to stay.
Well, think about this: Baker Mayfield's getting on a rookie contract, getting paid $1 million or whatever it is, and Dak will be he's getting $27-28 million. That means the Cleveland Browns can spend $27 million on defenders.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you can't re-sign them linebackers,
on
just hypothetically, if Cleveland wanted to say, hey, we see your worth and your talent. We got the money to pay you here in Cleveland. We still got a quarterback under rookie contract. That just makes
it's such a huge difference, those rookie contracts.
Yes.
And
yes.
Think about it. I mean, that's serious.
Russell
Dak
Wilson
Prescott was
won.
making $500,000.
That was the
$30
mold.
million.
That he started the mold. Russell Wilson won because they had the Legion of Boom and paid him.
And what happened to Seattle after all that happened?
Since he's been paid, they hadn't won.
That's exactly right.
He just got paid this year.
Well,
and
I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, he was paid on a mediocre contract, and they started losing.
Yeah, now he got $35
and that's
million
what the
in
defense started whining about.
I mean, they just got rid of Baldwin. They got rid of Chancellor. That's what I'm talking about.
It's
I mean,
done.
their whole defense is gone.
It's done. And they traded away their best defensive end to the Kansas City Chiefs for picks.
News and notes are around the other sports. The Carolina Hurricanes will play Sunday, down 1-0 in Boston.
This is going to be a tough matchup for the Hurricanes.
Their home game will be Tuesday. For people wanting to know about that, you can go to Tuesday and Thursday in Carolina, and then
what's the
then
tickets?
the weekends in Boston. The ticket prices in Carolina,
$142
and $143. So if you want to, it costs you at least $150 to get in the building, and then
you
after
go up there
that,
and get in for $89.
Yeah, it's cheaper in Boston. That's San Jose, Terry. Boston's $165. It's not cheaper in Boston. San Jose's cheaper. They're playing Blues and Sharks. So there's your NHL update. Real quick, let's move over to NASCAR. This is the unofficial qualifying. I don't know what that means here. They have a rain out or something, or what's going on with that?
Where is it at?
It's I had all that up and going.
Kansas.
How can you have unofficial qualifying?
It's in Kansas.
It's in Kansas. I don't know. That's what it says. That's what
I mean,
it said.
if it's unofficial qualifying, Kyle Busch would be in front.
That's what. Look,
if it does not count.
Unofficial Kansas lineup. Maybe they haven't went through the inspections yet.
Maybe that's true.
Is that what
Possibly.
And maybe it says unofficial because Kevin Hart's at the top of it.
And they
Harvey's
want-
at the
and
top,
they-
and every time he's been at
something
the top,
fishy
he's
about
been caught with something.
Something illegal.
Something's fishy
So,
about that.
Clint Boyer's third. That's the same team as those Amarillo. Maybe that's why they're unofficial.
Maybe that's what it
the
is.
same
Going
team
another
is
Ford
1, 2,
sitting
3.
there in the 4 spot. Suarez.
Chase Elliott.
Well,
5.
I don't know though. When you look down through there, and you got William Bryson, then Kyle Larson, and then Brad, but it's on top it's Martin Truex and Chase Elliott. So that's not the same group.
But that whole
together.
same team is in the
Yeah.
front. Byron 7, Larson 8, Keselowski 9, and Bowman 10th here at Kansas. Bubba Wallace is 12th.
Kyle Busch 13th. Watch out.
Jimmy Johnson 18th. I did see a thing this week that's talking about Bubba Wallace getting sponsorship deals, being being the only black race car driver, and also being part of Richard Petty's Motorsports. I've got an idea for a sponsor for the 43 car.
KTC broadcast.
No, I wish. Terry take less than his paycheck, we could buy it.
Yeah.
Now, what we could do is
I guess you're not getting a spot.
we're not getting a sponsor.
But he's going to pull a Dak Prescott. I need my money.
That's right.
Randy Moss is involved in racing, isn't he? Doesn't he have a
Is
car?
he?
Randy Moss has a car. Randy
How did
Moss
he not know that?
Randy Moss is also Team Jordan.
No,
He is Team Jordan.
Team Jordan makes up about 50 to 60% of Nike, all the money they make.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't Team Jordan here in Charlotte be the head sponsor, maybe?
I mean, Jordan
the
already,
43
Jordan
car?
already
Why
is a
couldn't it?
personal sponsor.
They can afford a NASCAR sponsor.
Yeah,
But-
Jordan's already a personal sponsor for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he's already team.
As a matter of
sponsor
fact, Denny
Hamlin.
Hamlin and Michael Jordan are like
Yeah.
this.
So just an idea out there, throwing it out there for anybody in the department that can actually talk Jordan out of some money there. I
Good
think
luck.
a great sponsorship. Think about the Jordan logo on the 43 car.
That'd be sick.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be sick.
On the 43 car with the Jordan logo on the hood. Come on now. I'm calling it, folks. All right. Winding up in overtime. Let's finish up with a Byron Nelson Classic. PGA Tour update. Way more important than the Masters or anything else going on in golf. This is where they don't fix the rounds.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of this, Terry, talking about fixed, how I was talking about Tiger. Remember, he's tied for 4th right now. Brooks Koepka. Oh, Koepka.
Here we are.
Wasn't he in the fight for that championship
He
in the
was.
Masters? How many times did he hit in the woods that day when there's no out of bounds out there? Then he hit 2 in the water. And he lost by, 1 or 2 to Tiger? 1
I
stroke
just got to
Tiger?
learn to play the game a little bit better.
This week, when asked about Tony Romo having a sponsor's exemption, Koepka said, I'm all for it. The more fans, the more money we make, the more the merrier for all of us.
There you go.
Huh. The guy who I accuse of throwing the Masters comes out and says the more fans we got at the Byron Nelson Classic, the better for us all. Now, I'm not putting any more words in anyone else's mouth or making any other accusations, but come on. Come on, boys. Come on. How about this the tournament up here at in Charlotte? The guy that came back to win it. Okay, I mean he did way better than Tiger did in his comeback, and I don't see no miracle, covers of Sports Illustrated or Medals of Honor. Or
I guarantee you
Freedom
won't
or
have no
anything like
picture
that.
on
That's
it.
crazy, just crazy. Tiger wins the tournament. It's the greatest thing we've ever seen. Another guy wins 1 by 10. Nah, who cares? So Brooks talking about that money. Like I said, that's all they care about, and that's what's going to happen. So Sung Kang is in the lead. You know him?
No, well, I mean,
Matt Every
Tiger's
second.
not in this.
Tyler Duncan's 3rd, and Koepka's 4th.
Tiger's not in this. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's not my fault Tiger's scared to come to the Byron Nelson. Now, the reason we're bringing up so much on the Byron Nelson, they got a very important golfer down here. VIG. VIG.
Very.
He was cut. Oh,
He
never mind.
barely missed the cut. What, Terry? 141. Let's see what it is. He barely missed the cut.
There he is.
Amateur
Yeah.
golfer. Missed the cut by 9 strokes. Tony Romo. Tony Romo, who has appeared in an NBA game.
All right, here we're going to name some people you never heard. What's up, one in your
Hey,
whole
yeah,
lifetime.
whoa. Hold on,
I
Terry.
mean,
You've
you know-
heard of at least one of these guys.
Charles Howell.
Now
I
remember-
heard him, but I
remember-
mean, as far as the rest of them.
Remember what I'm about to say is Tony Romo is an amateur who does not hit golf balls every single day of his life for 8 hours.
Well, them other guys look like they don't neither.
He beat for 7 other pros. 3 of them withdrew. He beat Weekham, Roberto Castro, Jonathan Bird, Terry's favorite golfer, Smiley Kaufman.
Yeah.
Beat him by 4 strokes.
Darn.
DJ Trahan, Charles Howell III, and Martin Traynor all withdrew from the tournament. Romo finishes with a 76 and a 74 with a 150. He had 2 doubles in the first round, which just killed him. He gets bogeys on those, 74, 74.
I can't complain. He'd destroy me.
Well, that's we're looking at. He would have beat if he don't get those 2 double bogeys there and messes up. That's 10 more other guys he beats, Terry. So.
And I don't know any of them guys in front.
Well,
of
no. Put it this way, and everybody, the online world is all about hating everyone. Everybody's like, he needs to quit. He needs to practice. Quit wasting everybody's time. Like, he's chasing a dream of playing golf on the PGA. He beats 7 other pros, and he doesn't practice every day. Just give the dude a chance. We're giving Tebow a chance,
Yes, we are.
Let him play. It's so funny. I think it's fun. All right, that's our it on our news and notes. Calvin and the gang out at Classic for today right now. Free hot dogs, chips, and drinks. Get out there. They do not have the car show today. That's been rescheduled. They are going to have it. They got a hood, a Mustang hood. It's been nice painted and nice and pretty. Worth about $4,000 they're going to be giving away. I think June 1st is the next date on that. Calvin and the gang will have that. This week, all kinds of things coming up in the world of sports. Game 7's tomorrow. JP, on our schedule today, we have NASCAR racing, and we have Atlanta Braves baseball. Braves play tonight, 9:25 versus the Diamondbacks. What time is that race there tonight on KTC?
The Monster Energy one?
Yes.
Yeah, the Monster Energy is at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 on WCSL 1590 AM. That's not green flag. That's broadcast time. You can listen on 92.3. And then, of course, Tuesday, Terry, we'll have more playoff baseball. North Lincoln Knights will be hosting, I done lost whoever that was, West somebody.
West plays Smoky Mountain at home.
And West Lincoln will play Smoky Mountain at home. And then we'll have North Lincoln and Crest baseball, KTC on Tuesday. And then Friday, hopefully, those teams will keep on winning. We'll have more baseball next Friday. Any other thoughts, news, notes from the other two of you? Nothing? I'm going to look at my notes one more time.
It's just going to be boring with no basketball tonight. Watching no NBA playoff tonight.
Baseball.
Is that weird?
It's weird that we're close to it being no basketball at all. We're very close to that. There's going to be a month where it's not there, but then all the hype around preseason football will start back up.
The 2 highest scoring games in Cardinals history at their new stadium, Bush III, they scored 18 against the Braves in 2008, and they scored 17 the other day against the Pirates. 35 runs, Terry. In both those games, the Cardinals did not hit a home run.
Congratulations.
The 2 highest scoring games at Cardinals' new stadium history, they did not hit a home run. Here's a stat for you, Hunter, you Christian McCaffrey fans out there. 867 receiving yards last year. 851
yards after catch.
After catch. That means of all those 89 catches, they went a grand total of 16 yards in the air. That's just handoffs. That's just complete handoffs.
That's a joke.
That's basically sweep plays, isn't it, Terry?
But you know what?
It's not a joke that what he did after the play, but the pass was a joke.
But he helped Cam Newton with all them extra yardages.
No, I know he did. I know. That's what I mean. Like,
extension of the running game.
Everything he did after the catch, great. Before,
extension of the running game. Also, a quick note this weekend, D-Ray had went to the beach this week for a bachelor party. He played a course down there who cheated. The course cheated. All right, the course, he took a picture of the tee box and it had.
How does a course cheat? Well, it's just there.
Well, I'll have to explain golf to you before you can even understand what that's going to be, JP.
All right, gotcha. Because I watch golf.
So this course had a black tee, Terry, listed at 767. The blue tee was 727. They put on the thing the longest course in the Carolinas.
Yes.
Well, that's the black tees. The blue tees are less than Black Mountain's blue tees. 747-yard par 6 used to be the longest course in the world. Which is harder, 750 yards up a hill or 750 yards flat? I'm going with the up a hill, and it's a dogleg right with the trees. And they threw an extra black tee by an average of 1 yard further back on every hole just to make them the longer course. What a cheat! What a bunch of cheaters. Also, real quick news notes, Terry. Son got his first base hit this week.
There you go.
Opposite foul line. He's a lefty. He is the old Punch and Judy down the baseline where you couldn't. There ain't no way you're gonna throw him out. I told him he should just bunt it every time, drag bunt it every time. Can you drag bunt and coach pitch? I don't know.
No.
Why not?
No.
First of all, the drag bunts.
No bunting.
The drag bunts will go further
No.
than the. So you'd rather the league would rather the kids strike out than bunt.
Yes.
I just want to know how that makes anybody any better.
Well, I'm just telling you, those are the rules of the game.
That is. Why is there no bunt?
There's no bunting.
That's silly.
I mean,
you got a pitcher there.
Yeah,
you
but
got a
your
catcher
pitcher's
there.
a mile away, and most of the people are not teaching them catchers to jump out there and grab it. They're not.
So should my
You know?
7-year-old son, if he plays 10 games and strikes out twice a game, it's better for him. The league says it's better for him to strike out 28 times this year than to drag bunt and try to get on and have
As
fun.
long as his average is 300, he's doing fantastic.
I said 0 for 28 Ks. All right, we got to go. Overtime. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Hunter. And thank you, Mr. Banana. We'll see you guys next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville.